What up, it's your boy Donkey here! Greetings gamers, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and you should know me by now. If you don't, hello. If you're new here or haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our daily gaming content. With the recent hashtags and bans, we figured it's a good time to revisit previous boycotts to see how everyone else handled their blunders. Be sure you stick around until the end of the video for some bloopers, since it's the editor's chance to make fun of me. It's gonna be really awkward if I'm the one editing. With all of that out of the way, let's get on with today's list of the top 10 boycotted video games that did well anyway. In at number 10, LittleBigPlanet. You may know Sackboy and you may love him since he is pretty adorable, let's be honest, but this PlayStation 3 platformer was actually hated on for the background music. After the game made it to stores, people started noticing things in the background music to the swinging safari level. It supposedly had two expressions that could be found in the Quran. All that is on earth will perish, and every soul shall have a taste of death. While that's depressing, I mean it obviously isn't intended as a jab or commentary on anything. The song has been freely available on iTunes since 2006. The issues I have is that now I'm having an existential crisis, because those statements are true. We will all perish, and everyone will taste death. Until I can convert my consciousness into a robot that can basically do everything a human can, I don't want to have to breathe though. That's annoying. And at number 9, Gotcha. In 1973, the arcade game Gotcha caused major controversy among parents and prudes. The reason for this game's controversy is the controls. While most arcade games had a phallic-shaped joystick, Gotcha had two pink rubber bulges that were, according to people who had no idea, meant to represent breasts. This is just plain wrong. Obviously, these controls just look like a pair of dangly balls. Joking aside, the game, even after releasing a cabinet with a normal joystick, people still had people hating it. But you know damn well those prepubescent boys are running around to play with those crazy controls. Those were the days. And at number 8, We Dare. When you think of Nintendo, you must think of the rep it has as being family friendly. Well, apparently when Ubisoft came out with We Dare for the PS3 and Wii, nobody was soft at all. That's one for the dads. The Pan-European Game Information and Australian Classification Board said that the game was suitable for children even though the game was designed for adults. The game rating boards can only rate the actual game content, like what you see on screen, rather than what the players are doing, since that's technically up to them. However, this game is full of, as they put it, flirty fun for all. They market it as a sexy, quirky party game in Europe and Australia, since that's the only place where it's available, and it involves kissing, spanking, and strip teasing, and it's rated like 12 plus or something like that. It's insane, since even after the controversy it still did fairly well. I mean, I guess you can see why if you just look at the trailer. Oh god. And at number 7, Hatred. Ever been in GTA just mowing down a load of civilians and think, I wish there was a whole game based on this? Well, luckily there is a game out there that is all about the genocide of the human race. It's called Hatred, and for obvious reasons it was hated on, and the isometric shooter was ultimately pulled from Steam Greenlight by Valve due to extremely graphic content. I wonder why. After an apology, the game was greenlit once more and ended up on the Steam bestsellers list, and is still available today. Even though the game was receiving negative reviews after release, and even before, the game still did extremely well, despite some gameplay bugs and features that could be improved. No matter how much this game made profit-wise, people will always be full of hatred. I'm sorry. I'll go home. And at number 6, Fallout 76. The reason you can see me right now is because I'm a player. I am actually real. The same can be said for Fallout 76. When users heard of an online Bethesda Fallout game, they freaked out. Tons of pre-orders were made, and when the game was commercially available, a whole lot more people got it, or asked for it for Christmas or birthdays. Some of my friends included. There was a thread on the Vault 101 Reddit page that suggested everyone boycott Bethesda until they fixed Fallout 76. Apparently this user was unhappy with Fallout 76, aren't we all, and its updates, and wanted to boycott them until they fixed it. There were several people who agreed with this user, and some had even started before this post was made. However, not everyone was happy with this idea, but the users that did were also still playing games from their other studios, such as Doom. If you're going to boycott something, do it properly. And at number 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. With the recent release of a Modern Warfare reboot last month, the game was supposed to focus on modern military conflicts. The sneak peek suggested that there would be no right or wrong in this game, and that the lines between right and wrong would be blurred, introducing players to gray morality. However, one country did not appreciate the developers' efforts. Russia accused the creators of being anti-Russian. and now the game is being boycotted. This is due to the game's plot. There is a civil war going on in the fictional country of Uzbekistan, where the army of Russian General Barkov is shown as cruel. They kill children, torture civilians, and shoot unarmed people. When a game claims to be blurring the lines between right and wrong, this seems like the line is very clearly there and has been crossed. Actually, in all honesty, they're playing jump rope with the line, constantly crossing it and not giving a damn about other people's feelings. I mean the game, not the Russians. And at number 4, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Much like the Mortal Kombat franchise, GTA is always going to get the brunt of attacks about violence whenever a new game gets dropped. But this controversy came after the game had actually dropped. The Hot Coffee mod came out in 2005 and gave you access to the normally blocked minigame that allows you to have fully clothed sexual intercourse between the main character CJ and his game girlfriend. After this blocked section of the game was also found in the PS3 and Xbox versions of the game, the ESRB changed the rating of the game to AO for adults only, and it was taken off shelves in Australia. Later on, an update was released completely removing the minigame, allowing the game to regain its M rating and getting it back on store shelves. While people did avoid the game did do well, enough to get a few more sequels and becoming one of the biggest franchises to date. Almost at the end at number 3, Battlefront II. On the morning of November 17th, 2017, the developers announced that the microtransaction system was removed from the game. This was also the day of release. The game was supposed to charge players to buy in-game currency, which they would then use to buy loot boxes that would unlock characters, abilities, and new weapons. Players could earn currency in-game, but the boxes were so expensive that buying the currency would only make sense. One gamer figured out that it would take 4,500 hours or $2,100 of extra transactions to unlock everything in the game. This caused fans to riot. The gamers boycotted EA, and their statement about the system became the most downvoted comment on Reddit ever. While they did remove the feature, they said that the ability to buy currency would be back, following some adjustments and fixes. People took this as they will bring it back once users forget about the horror that was the EA loot boxes. I will never forget. And at number 2, Mass Effect. The Mass Effect series has a huge fanbase and an extremely passionate one at that, but at first release, this game received backlash for displays of full nudity, forceful encounters, sodomy, and full graphic sex, as Kevin McCullough and Fox News put it. While this is entirely not true and the most that you see in the game is some side boob or a little bit of ass, it caused a big debate. Fox News brought on a psychology specialist, radio talk show host, and author who just basically attacked video games, bringing up studies and research that showed that video games cause kids to, wait for it, not understand what a video game is and what a real life experience is. What? They also luckily brought on a video game expert who shuts her down, explaining how the sex is an optional part of the game that requires work for maybe 2 minutes of a 30+ hour experience. Also, the fact that there is no full nudity. The game obviously did well since, you know, it got 2 sequels and a unsatisfying ending. And finally, in at number 1, Manhunt. Manhunt is a stealth-based survival horror game by Rockstar Games that was released in 2003 for the PS2 and spawned itself both a sequel and a re-release through the PSN for the PlayStation 3 and the PS4. The game received positive reviews by critics, who loved its dark tone and violence. The game was also hated on for the level of graphic violence. The game actually got banned in several countries, including, but not limited to, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Malaysia, New Zealand, Australia, South Korea, and a whole bunch of other nations. And it got implicated in a murder by the UK media. This implication was later rejected by police and the courts, but oh my god, that's insane. Implicating the game in a murder before the police had said that the game was involved. The fact that they were able to do that shows that you should not believe everything you hear. You need to experience it yourself to truly know. But you can always believe me. I promise. There we have it, friends, the top 10 boycotted video games that did well anyway. What did you guys think of this list? Let me know in the comments. Also, today's intro was submitted by a fan, so thank you to Nick Zub for suggesting it. If you have any weird or zany intro ideas, be sure you let me know in those comments. And if you're picked, your intro will get featured, and you'll get a shout out in the next video. In my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. Let's hope the editor is nice. And if it's me, it won't be. You may know Sackboy, and you may love him since he is pretty. Jump rope. Play double dutch with that line. The hot coffee mod came. Okay, that was me rewinding. On the morning of November 17th, 2017, the developers announced that the Okay, while this is entirely not true and the most you see in the game is some side boob and a little bit of a nice one at that. No, cut that. I regretted that immediately. Oh, God, I hate myself. This is what happens when I haven't done one in a while.